Yeah. Great to
And
see that hanging over the stage.
that's all the statement I need to make right now.
Yeah. Thank you.
What a first
Very
set.
good. Yeah, man. Whew. They stay
Yeah.
open with man smart, woman smarter, which was a very, very, very important message to be sending right now. And then went off to a fantastically improvisational Eyes of the World into Bertha. Next time you see me, always happy to hear Dark Star. First set, second set, every set. Dear Mr. Fantasy, and they closed the first set with Althea.
And special tip of the hat to Matt Bush for revamping the set list on short notice today and coming up with beautifully apt choices, as always.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Let's give folks an idea of what we're doing here. This is a little thing we do at every show on Dead and Company Summer Tour called Dead Air. I'm Gary Lambert over there on which side? I think that side. Yeah, that's David Gans over there. And we are here to give you some entertainment during the first half, although what can be more entertaining than a slide that says, please stay tuned? I hope we are. And we've been having a great time. We've been entertaining ourselves, and we have been very entertained by the guests we've had on. And
indeed.
we do this as a way of having some fun and also letting you know that this is coming to you through our good friends at nugs.net, who have created this amazing online streaming service, the only known one that is completely devoted to live music. And since just about everyone watching this is a complete incurable live music freak, this is the thing for you. Now, if you're watching this on the free preview, that means you got to see the first song of the first set. And what you're seeing right now is the preview of the second set. And if you wish, if you are tantalized, if you haven't subscribed to nugs.net yet or subscribed to this whole tour package or individual shows, you can go back and watch this show in its entirety over again. You can go back and watch any of the shows on this tour. If you buy the season pass, you can see the whole dang tour. After you purchase a show, you have 48 hours after you hit that play button to watch it. It's an incredible thing, and that is just the tip of the nugs.net iceberg, is it not?
So true. So true. They also have an immense archive of live music recordings going back years and years and years. This has been in business more than 20 years. And they've got all the Dead and Company stuff going back to 2016. And they have audio downloads in many, many formats. They have live streaming. They have these video streaming, different shows you can watch on your TV, and lots of different packages to make this stuff available. They recently launched a streaming service so you can just subscribe to that and just listen to every Springsteen show they have in the archive, for example.
That's right. And then when these guys are on tour as Dead and Company, very often the show will be available the next day or a couple of days later once it's fully mixed. And they all sound fantastic. I've been going back and listening to some of the streams or
So have I.
downloading some of the Dead and
Yeah,
Company shows because we're kind of in this business, and listening to this music is kind of our job. Hell of a job, huh? So, and
yeah,
we get
for
to play this
sure.
stuff. We get to play this stuff on our combined radio show. David gets to play it on his own radio show, the Grateful Dead Hour, and it's just a thrill to share this with this audience. But we have someone with us tonight who knows a little bit about Nugs.net, don't we?
We do. Let's welcome the founder of Nugs.net, Brad Serling. There you are.
Brad.
Hey
Hey,
guys,
man. Great to see
uh,
you.
good to see you guys. And if I knew I had to follow a set like that, I might have chosen a different night.
No,
I'm looking
it's
forward to
you can't. They're all the sets have been really good, so you'd not be able to find it. It's not like you could schedule a lame set to follow or anything.
that. Right.
They're playing great the whole damn tour.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to make it to the Boulder shows, which was kind of a surprise. I didn't think I was going to see anything on this tour, but I hadn't seen anything since Mexico pre-COVID. So I didn't make it to any shows last year, so I was really dying to catch something. I was able to squeeze in Boulder and just had a great time. I mean, it's one of my favorite places to see this band.
Oh yeah.
And good friends there. And Saturday night show was excellent. So Very
Yeah.
pleased.
So
Well, tell us
there's
a little bit about this. Go ahead, Gary.
no, please. I was going to ask him the same question. I think so.
Yes. Tell us a bit about NugsNet, how it happened, and how you turned your tape trading hobby into a gigantic and really, really wonderful and welcome business.
Well, thanks for asking. I walked through a lot of that last time, so I don't want to repeat myself. I just the Reader's Digest version was that I was out there taping, and the Grateful Dead ended up hiring me, which never in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought was even a possibility. It was, it all started by just being there, doing what I was doing, and it was 25 years ago this summer that I started the website
Wow.
nugs.net, and from 97 to 2000, the site just grew to the point where 3 million downloads a month of my Grateful Dead tape collection and Fish and some other bands. So the lawyer that represented the Grateful Dead and Fish called me up and said, we either need to shut you down or go into business. And the long story short, I sent him a business plan attaching dollar signs to the number of downloads we were doing. And next thing I know, I was in a meeting with Bobby and Mickey and the lawyers, and Pearl Jam's bass player was there, Pearl Jam's management was there, Pearl Jam's attorneys, David Lemieux was there, and Dennis McNally. It was a whole thing, and that just kicked off this project bandwagon. That's essentially what they hired me for. I worked for Grateful Dead for 18 months, which was just a thrill. And it was really through that NugsNet became a business, because it was through that situation that I met John Paluska, who was managing Fish, and we launched Live Fish New Year's 2002. So I worked for the Dead, 2000 to 2001, and then when Fish came back 2002, we launched Live Fish, and that was the first commercial iteration of Nugs.net.
Yeah,
and so that brings us to today. Nothing's changed.
And this was all, Brad, when you first came into this world, officially, that is, you were there as a fan already, but when you first engaged with it officially, something like what we're doing right now, getting these shows in HD and 4K, was just a pipe dream. The bandwidth wasn't there, the storage wasn't there, the servers weren't there, and so this was a matter of technology catching up with the dream, and now it has in a big way.
Yeah, it's. I could see the path to do what we're doing now, but it just wasn't feasible. I was just telling a friend that, a personal note, I'm going to Alaska tomorrow for a 4-week RV trip, and I was thinking the only time I've been up there was I went to the North Pole with Metallica in '95, Labor Day '95, and so we actually streamed Metallica live from the North Pole, the actual closest inhabited village to the magnetic North Pole, Labor Day '95. Wow. And I bring that up because the technology that's changed from then till now. In the summer of '95, we had 8 modems in a road case that we multiplexed and bonded together, and that's how we got a signal out. And it was like 3 frames a second, black and white postage stamp, see you, see me video stream. But yeah, it worked. So that was really planted the seed in my head of like, hey, wouldn't it be great if we actually could do this? I never thought it would get to the level it's at now, where we could actually do 4K live broadcasts from Wrigley Field.
It's pretty amazing.
Field, sure, it's a big broadcast place, but and really that's only been in the last couple of years, the 4K evolution. Even getting HD out used to be a strain when we would do Fish at the Garden. But the big news or big change I wanted to talk about since I last talked to you guys, which was on the fall tour, is that we are welcoming the Grateful Dead archives onto NugsNet for the first time. Streaming. And I know you have Mark Pincus on tomorrow, so it's good timing. Mark is the president of Rhino, controls all the Grateful Dead music licensing and merchandise licensing. And for years, we've had downloads of all this stuff on NugsNet, but it wasn't available streaming. We've now worked out those rights, and essentially everything that's been commercially released. So this isn't like the Vault Unleashed. It's everything that's already been commercially released. But the unique thing here is once it's on NugsNet, you'll be able to browse by show and by date. So you can go 2/13/70 and not look for Dick's Pigs Volume 4, whichever one that I can never remember which one's which. Harper College, one of my favorites. You can just go to 5/2/70. And you can actually browse by year. You can swipe left, swipe right, and time travel through the commercially released archive, which is already up to over 200 shows. So that's what I'm personally most excited about, just as a fan, to be able to dive in on. Certainly it helps is the app that I built, but still, I would subscribe to it anyway, and to be able to access all that and access last night's Dead and Company show, not to mention all the other stuff we're doing with Pearl Jam and Metallica and Bruce Springsteen, and every jam band you can think of. It's I think for fans, it's a real value add, because we know everyone has Spotify, and that's great. Spotify is like your basic cable. We're a premium channel. So now if the premium channel has all of this, deep dive, Deadhead friendly content that we know everybody's listening to anyway, we hope having it all in one place will really benefit people.
I remember thinking back in the 90s that, Grateful Dead were the killer app for a lot of things, including online community. And I remember thinking that, when all that was being talked about back in the day, it didn't quite happen back then. It still seemed like this was, just a huge body of work with an immensely popular, immense and dedicated audience that wanted it. It seemed like this is, it's been a long time coming, and I'm really glad it's here.
Yeah. It's, it was a big move for us this week. Gary, as you noted, we brought the Bruce Springsteen archives online for streaming. We have been working with Bruce for almost 10 years now, and it was specifically a download and CD business. It was really the only way we were able to get the deal done, and without getting too deep in the weeds, that was a deal we had done directly with Bruce, with Sony's permission, of course. Bruce has been on Columbia for 40 plus years, but it was carved out specifically for downloads and CDs. So now that Sony, it's all public knowledge now, Sony purchased the entire Bruce Springsteen over, all the compositions, all the master recordings, all the live recordings in the archive. So we were now able to work this out through Sony that we can stream for the first time. So we're splitting it up. We have about 200 shows so far, and we're splitting that up into 5 different drops. So the first one, the Freehold drop, that's what we called it. That came out this week. So that's the first batch of 40 shows. And we'll be rolling out 40 at a time over the next 5 months, in addition to the archive series that we've been doing the first Friday of every month. And then the hope is when Bruce is on tour next year, not exactly sure how the timing will work. We think it'll probably be downloads and CDs every night, and then they'll work their way into the streaming service. Kind of depends on how everyone's feeling at that point.
Is there any chance of live streaming Springsteen shows?
Yeah, we've certainly
Please
pitched it. We came very close at the Gillette shows on the last tour in 2016, but it got nixed in the 11th hour. So, they know what we do with Fish, where every night's a pay-per-view. They know what we do with the Dead, that every night's a pay-per-view. And they know the one-off stuff we do with bands like Pearl Jam. But it's hard to say. I don't have a crystal ball to know what Bruce is thinking and how he's going to feel when he hits the road. My argument is going to be the demand is going to be so huge, and those tickets for Europe went pretty fast. In fact, they broke Ticketmaster on multiple occasions for those on sales. Wow. We're talking about 80 and 90,000 person soccer stadiums in Europe that just sold out like that.
Wow.
So hopefully we'll live stream as a way to appease the fans, because for Bruce, it's not looking to make another couple bucks. That's not the thing. That's not why Bruce would pay-per-view. He would do it because he would think it was going to super serve the fans. And, same with Metallica, all the stuff we do with them. We're not moving the needle in Metallica dollars, but it's Lars wants to do it for the fans.
Well, I'll tell you, if the Bruce live streaming comes through, it will also really benefit food delivery services in my neighborhood, because I will never leave the house. I will be here glued to this couch every night.
We joke about all the legalized weed delivery. I wish we could work out a way that when you order the Deadco pay-per-view, the unlimited devotion pass comes with your personalized bud tender who comes. There's a couple local logistical issues we need to work out, but that's where I want to get to with DoorDash and Ease and whoever the other. We are called Nuts. Let's be honest.
That's right.
I wanted to interject, by the way, that I really appreciate the fact that you've kept the name all these years, because it's kind of a hippie pothead name, and I've always thought it was very cool. And I don't know if you've ever been tempted to change the name, but I'm really glad it's still called Nugs
Well, I hope my marketing team is listening because it's a constant
now.
battle on the name change. But
Well,
we are celebrating 20. It's literally 25 years. In fact, the day that Goose will play Red Rocks, which is something I'm going to just for fun, actually. That's the 25th anniversary of me registering Nugs.net. So if I can at least keep the name for 25 years, the next 25, who knows what will happen.
well, Brad, doing this has been so much fun, and having you on is tremendous because you know this story, and the beauty of what Nugs brings to people as well as
Yeah,
anybody. I know the gratitude of the fans for this. We keep getting incredible messages just thanking us, thanking Nugs, and it's incredibly fulfilling, and it must be for you as well.
the gratitude is very fulfilling. I could do without the hate mail and death threats for people who for some reason have a problem with whatever we're doing. But
Mhm.
but we didn't stop tapers from taping. Everyone can still do their thing, and it's been 20 years now. Really, if you
Yeah.
really have a problem with what we're doing, I think you better look inside yourself. Maybe the problem's with you, not with us.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Amen.
lose too much sleep over that stuff.
Yeah, but
Any
we want everyone to be happy.
Yeah.
is there any new stuff in the pipeline besides the Springsteen that we're talking about? Any other things you want to tease that are coming up?
Well, the Deadco coming out. I mean, the Grateful Dead stuff coming out. That was a big thing, and we have also the Garcia archives that we've been releasing in tandem with their other releases. That's exciting. We'll get back with Wolf Brothers. We'll do a backfill of the shows we missed from the spring. We're looking to put out the fall tour or whatever his plans are in the fall. We hope to do that a lot quicker. And let's see, what else can I talk about? There's some cool stuff going on. I mean, tonight we've got Widespread Panic at Red Rocks if you choose to flip between shows. That's happening for 3 nights. We've got Billy Strings going on that actually with your Nugsnet subscription. That's a new thing since we last spoke. Subscribers are now getting exclusive access to live streams. So Billy Strings, we did it at the Ryman when Bobby came out. That was very fortuitous for us that the night we launched that happened to be the night that Bob Weir played an entire set with Billy Strings. So you can watch all that on demand with your Nugsnet subscription. Nugsnet subscribers can watch all these shows live. Dead and Company and things like this are still pay-per-view. That's because, just so people understand, we had to kind of draw the line of what's a pay-per-view and what's exclusive to subscribers. For Dead and Company, because it's 20 nights and then done, it's really hard to put that in the subscription, so we just kept it as a pay-per-view. Versus like Billy Strings, where he's constantly on tour, and we could do like 3 shows last month, 3 shows this month, 3 shows next month. Same kind of thing we did with Humphreys last week at Red Rocks. So we're starting to do the bands that are, really core to the Nugsnet audience. We're doing live streams with them that are exclusive to subscribers. And then we'll still have these standalone pay-per-views. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Also, as a subscriber, I should say, I sound like I'm a salesperson, but I guess that's my job here. As a subscriber, you do get 15% off your pay-per-view purchases. So there's like subscriber benefits. We also did something that we started with the Dead last fall. If you sign up for Nugsnet, you can get 50% off the pay-per-view that night. So there's a nice back and forth between the two.
Right. You are, I should say, you're serving my fanboy trifecta with Springsteen, Dead related stuff, and you've also live streamed some beautiful Wilco shows recently.
Oh,
and you have a
Wilco's.
deep archive of Wilco's live performances over recent years. So I'm kind of in heaven right now with Nugs.
That's been fun to check out because I never really collected Wilco. I have friends who collected them, but I just, for whatever reason, you only have so many blank tapes back in the day. So it's nice to have access to those. Also stuff like Sonic Youth, which I never really had access to those tapes. So they've sent us a few archive shows. Excuse me.
Great.
We do have some exciting stuff coming out, which I don't think I can talk about yet, but let's just say some legendary guitar players that we've uncovered some archives, and there will be some stuff coming out, and I'll just let your imagination run wild. But we already have Santana, so it's not Carlos.
Okay.
I like it.
By the way, the Shoreline Santana show is up. If you haven't heard it, check it out. I was out of town. I didn't get to see it, but that was a fun one, finally bringing Carlos on board.
Yeah, great.
So, David, last time I saw you was in Kauai, which was a real pleasant surprise. We
Yeah,
went
it turned out we were
realized
staying up just, yeah,
yeah,
we were
like
just a
a half a
few,
beach ride.
half a quarter of a mile apart. Yeah. So we went into Honolulu and had coffee. It was lovely to catch up with you there in person.
Yeah, it was nice.
We spend so
Nice.
much time in the virtual world, it's like nice to actually like sit down with somebody once in a while.
Yeah, I actually, I totally respect the COVID bubble that the band is operating under. But it would be great if we could have been doing one of these at Shoreline or at Boulder or at City
Yeah.
Field or something, and actually have it. So Jacob is our man in the trenches, and thankfully
Yes.
is running all this for us. But Jacob's essentially under quarantine, and we can't see each other.
Right.
He's usually
Yeah.
right here in the office.
Wow.
That's
Well,
that's the way it
he's
is.
doing a great job, and we're having a great time doing this. And I just want to thank you again for thinking of this and inviting Gary and me to do it, because it's just been this season in particular has just been, every one of these interviews has been a real treat.
Oh, that's great. I really enjoyed Jay's interview the other night. That was fun. And what was the name of the guy, the older guy who was the filmmaker?
Alan Arkish.
Oh, Alan,
He was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah,
I
he-
loved his interview and his story. I heard him on the
He's-
Deadcast, but I didn't
Right.
know that
Yeah.
whole backstory and
He's
the
yeah,
showing
he's
the
so-
films to Jerry. I thought that was awesome.
right. He's so full of stories that we had to cut off his Ramones story because the band went back on. We'll get him on the radio. We'll get him on the radio for that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
he's a great character.
I'm very happy that you guys got a chance to catch up with Bobby. So that was,
That was great.
we've been working on that since the beginning of last summer tour. Once we had this idea for Dead Air, of course, we wanted Bob to be a guest. It was logistically challenging, but thankfully Matt Bush went the extra mile for us and made sure Bob sat down after rehearsals and got to talk to you guys over Zoom.
Yeah. We're hoping
that's
to do
still on
another
demand,
pre-recorded
obviously.
interview or two.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll do some more. And John's interview with you guys from Hollywood Bowl, that was just incredible.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I was actually at Fish. Fish was at MGM for the Halloween shows. So I was watching that during the Fish show, and people kept coming over to my desk and saying, what was that? It was fascinating. It's a great interview.
Yeah. John is so passionate about this music, and he's become such an incredibly deep student of it. And it's always a pleasure to talk with him. And as David said, we are pursuing some more pre-recorded interviews. Last year we got John and we got O'Teal, but they had to rush him into a little segregated room, quarantined room, and they only had the constraints of the set break were so tight that everything was a little rushed. So if we can do the pre-record with one or two more band members, we are going to do everything we can to deliver that.
And that all is just talking about how great Jacob is at getting all of this done. I really appreciate his great work.
Indeed. Thank you, Jacob.
Is one of our greatest finds. I know he's
very good.
So what are we thinking for set 2 after a set like that? That was like, where do you go from there?
This is one of those, do we get Dark Star Part 2 in this set, or do we get it tomorrow night? They like to leave us dangling for more than one show sometimes. So the suspense factor is there. The first set had some real thematic consistency to it. The second set could go completely haywire. We never know with these guys, and that's why we keep coming back.
Yeah, and a daytime Dark Star, they should give out warning labels as you walk onto the field for that. I'm sure there's a lot of very, very confused people. I remember they did that before, didn't they, at Wrigley? There was I remember, I think it was acoustic too. It was something weird like acoustic daytime Dark Star at Wrigley a few years back.
First set, and then finished it electric in the second set, I think was the case there.
There have been a few other daytime Dark Stars that work. That 82772 one certainly ain't shabby.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I want to get into the weeds on this stuff.
That was a biggie.
I don't like to predict. I don't like to guess. I like to just sit back and let it unfold in front of me.
Yes, I like, the more they confound my expectations, the more I like it.
Yeah, again, that is why we're here, and
That's right.
You can watch it on demand if you missed it. That's what I think is. I hope people understand that it's not just live.
Well, Yeah,
Yeah,
that's part of the deal. We keep telling them if you buy the broadcast, you got 48 hours to watch it as many times as you want. So we're hoping that
Right.
people will check out these previews and then go back and catch up on the shows that they missed or the sets that they missed. I just want to just wrap it up by saying it's so great that you're a guy, a big live music freak and a big Deadhead and Fishhead who managed to turn his hobby into something that benefits all of us.
I wake up every day and can't believe that I get to do this. So I was
I,
watching your interview with David Lemieux, and same kind of thing. I feel exactly. In fact, when I first met David, I would tease him and say that he got the golden ticket from the Wonka bar, that he actually got
right,
the keys to the chocolate factory.
right.
Because
That's
I
very
wanted
true.
that job.
Yeah. Well, we're not wanting in the lucky bastards department ourselves, Gans and me. So we appreciate our good fortune every bit as much. Listen, we're told the band is headed back to the stage. Brad, such a pleasure talking to you. Such a pleasure working for you and with you.
Yeah.
And we hope this goes on for at least a few more tours to come.
As long as they'll go on, I hope. So,
That's right.
good to see you guys.
Thank
Thanks
you
for having me.
again.
Thanks,
Be
man.
well. Thank you.